You are losing something that can never be returned, and the terrifying part is that you are handing it over willingly, one notification at a time. In the next few minutes, you are going to see exactly what happens inside your brain and your life every time you reach for your phone without thinking. You are going to understand why this habit feels completely harmless, even necessary, while it quietly dismantles the thing you care about most. And by the end of this video, you will know the one thing almost nobody talks about when they discuss phone addiction. The one thing that changes everything once you see it. But first, let's be honest about something really uncomfortable to know. Most people reading about screen time think the problem is productivity. They think, I waste a little time, I scroll too much, I should probably cut back. They treat it like a small personal flaw, like biting your nails or drinking too much coffee, like a personal problem. They download the screen time app, feel guilty for 3 days and move on. That is not what this video is about. This is about something that goes much deeper than lost hours. This is about what you are actually feeling in the half second before you pick up your phone and why that feeling is running your life without your permission. Here's the question nobody is asking. What emotion are you escaping every single time you check your phone? Think about that emotion for a moment. What is the emotion you are escaping from? Because that is what is really happening. It is not boredom. It is not curiosity. It is anxiety. A low-grade, constant, almost invisible anxiety that has become so familiar you no longer recognize it as anxiety at all. You have started to call it just checking. You have started to believe it is normal, but your nervous system knows the truth. Every time a thought gets slightly uncomfortable, every time silence feels slightly too long, your hands move toward your phone before your conscious mind even registers the impulse. You are not using your phone, your anxiety is using you. And here's where it gets harder to look at or to understand. The checking is not randomly. Studies on compulsive phone behavior consistently show that people reach for their devices most often during two specific moments on a day. Right before they need to focus on something difficult, and right after they experience a small emotional discomfort. A tense conversation, a moment of self-doubt, a flash of loneliness, the phone becomes a release valve. And every single time you use it that way, you are training your brain to associate discomfort with the need for escape. You are, without realizing it, making yourself less and less capable of sitting with anything hard. Think about what that means for the life you are trying to build. Is that life what you want? Every creative project you have almost started, every difficult conversation you have delayed, every moment of genuine silence, the kind where real insight and self-knowledge actually live interrupted before it could breathe. The phone didn't steal those things from you, the anxiety did. The phone just made escape so fast, so frictionless, so socially acceptable that you never had to feel the full weight of what you were avoiding. That is the hidden cost, not the hours, the depth. Because here's what the productivity gurus never tell you about this. You are not losing time, you are losing the ability to go deep on things. There is a concept in cognitive psychology called attention residue. When you switch from one task to your phone and then back again, part of your attention stays stuck on what you just looked at. Researchers at the University of California found that after a phone interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully return to the original task. 23 minutes for a 30-second check. Multiply that by the number of times you check per day. The average is around 96. And you are not just losing minutes, you are losing the capacity for sustained thought. You are losing the mental architecture that makes complex ideas possible. You are living permanently on the surface of your own mind. And the anxiety keeps you there on purpose. So, because anxiety doesn't want you to go deep. Anxiety thrives on the shallow. It wants quick loops, fast feedback, constant stimulation. It wants you scrolling because scrolling never ends and never demands anything from you. The notifications sound, the red badge, the pull to refresh. These are not design accidents. They are precision instruments built to trigger the same neurological reward loop as a slot machine. Variable reward, unpredictable intervals, maximum compulsion. You are not weak for falling into this. You are a human being, but knowing that doesn't make it less dangerous. Here's the part that most people never reach, and it is the part that matters the most. The real damage of checking your phone every 5 minutes is not measured in screen time reports. It is measured in who you are becoming. Every habit is a vote for a type of person. Every time you reach for your phone in a moment of discomfort, you are voting for the version of yourself that cannot tolerate discomfort. You are voting against the version of yourself that can sit with a hard problem long enough to solve it, that can hold space for another person in a conversation without mentally leaving, that can experience a quiet moment without needing to feel it. That version of yourself, patient, deep, present, is not gone, but it is getting harder to access every day. And that is the loop you need to close. So what do you actually do? Not the generic advice, not turn off the notifications and call it done. The real work starts with one question you have to ask yourself every single time your hand moves toward your phone. What am I feeling right now that I do not want to feel? That question is a disruption. It breaks the automaticity of the habit. It forces a half second of consciousness into a completely unconscious loop. And in that half second, you have a choice that you didn't have before because now you're aware of that. Sometimes the answer will be anxiety, sometimes boredom, sometimes the quiet terror of not knowing if you are doing enough, being enough, moving fast enough. Whatever the answer is, feel it. Not forever, not dramatically, just for 10 seconds. Let the discomfort exist without immediately escaping it. That 10-second practice, done consistently, rewires more than any app ever will. Because the goal is not to use your phone less, the goal is to need it less. Those are completely different things you have to understand. One is behavioral, the other is identity level. One counts hours, the other changes the kind of person who is making choices. When you stop running from discomfort, the phone loses its power. Not because you restricted it, but because you no longer need it to do what anxiety was using it for. This is where the real transformation lives. The real one. You started this video believing the problem was your phone. Maybe you thought this was going to be about blue light or dopamine detoxes or the best app to block Instagram, but the phone was never the problem. The phone is just the fastest exit available when the feeling comes. The system approved this. The problem is the feeling you have been avoiding. The problem is that modern life has made avoidance so easy, so fast, and so invisible that most people will spend decades running from their own inner experience without ever knowing that is what they are doing. You know now what it is. You are now conscious about it. That is the thing you were not supposed to see by the end of this video, the loop that was left open at the beginning. Because when you understand that every compulsive check is an emotional signal, not a technology problem, not a willpower problem, but an anxiety signal pointing directly at something inside you that needs your attention, everything changes. You stop fighting your phone, you start listening to yourself. The most expensive thing you own is not your phone, it is your attention. And unlike your phone, you cannot upgrade it. You can only protect it, train it, and choose. Deliberately, repeatedly, against the pull of everything designed to take it, to give it to the life you actually want to live. Your phone will keep buzzing. The question is whether you will keep answering to that.